Hi everybody, it's Lindsay Hoffman and welcome to the Dose of Bliss show where I have the most inspiring people I meet share their doses of bliss with you to help you change your life. Today, I am so excited. We have pop artist Tysen Knight.
Hey, how you doing?
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me, for sure.
I want to explain to everybody what you do because you are a urban pop artist.
Yes.
You know, not a singing urban pop artist, like the photos like behind me, the paintings behind me. So can you explain a little bit the type of artist you are?
Well, I came up with urban pop art is because, you know, I grew up in the beginning of the hip hop era. So hip hop, graffiti, street art were all, you know, one. Like if you were a rapper, you actually did street art too and did spray paint. So that's where I got the urban side from. Pop art is more so inspiration from Andy Warhol. Jean-Michel Basquiat, so that's where the pop urban art comes in, and with a little twist of fine art. So that's my style. So I combine all those styles, and I come up with pop urban art or urban pop art, whichever way you want to call it. You know, people call it different ways.
Yeah, and you coined the term for it, right?
Yeah,
That's really cool.
Pop urban art. Yeah, because people used to ask me all the time, like, what is your medium? I'm like, I need to figure that out. So then I went back and said, oh, no, you know what? Pop urban art.
It's so beautiful. I wish this was always the background of Dose of Bliss because it's like, it makes you happy when you look at it. It tells a story. So before we get into like the type of art you have, your story behind you is so inspiring. So you were actually homeless.
Yes, I was.
So can you explain what that was like? Like, did you grow up homeless or what happened?
Well, no, I didn't grow up homeless. Actually, I grew up in with my parents. But as I got older, you know, I tried to make a living being an artist. And, you know, it's really, really tough trying to make a living being an artist. So I got a job being a barber. And, you know, I was working. And when you got to self-fund your dreams, sometimes you overextend yourself, and you got bills to pay, life is still happening, but you still had this dream here that you're trying to fulfill. And it gets very expensive when you're funding everything yourself. So sometimes I found myself in a situation where I just couldn't afford everything. So I had to make a choice. Do I keep, you know, pursuing my dreams? Or do I just take the 9 to 5 and just, you know, do the regular thing? Don't knock anybody doing regular work, you know what I'm saying? But if you're chasing a dream, you're gonna come to these crossroads where you have to make a decision. So I made a decision to follow my dream. So I couch surfed. I was in shelters for a while. I slept in the back of the vehicle I had at the time. I just kept working my way up. And eventually I dug myself out of that hole and was able to be on, you know, even ground and be able to work at the barbershop and do my art at the same time. So I was able to smooth it out. Then from that point, I was able to transition into just doing artwork.
Wow, that's like an amazing story. How did it feel during the time when you didn't have the money? Did you ever want to give up?
Yeah, you know, the mind, your mind can play tricks on you. You know, a lot of self-doubt will creep in. But, you know, I always fashion myself as a strong-minded person, but, you know, sometimes even I doubted myself a lot, and it did creep in. It's like, man, maybe just, you know, give up. You know, just give up. You ain't gonna make it. Your art is not that good. Just give up. And I just wouldn't give up. And, you know, I don't know where I got it from. You know, the universe opened up to me and just helped me keep going and giving me little, how can I say this? They would give me little clues that I was on the right path. Like, it's like putting out little crumbs, crumbs. Like you're grabbing these crumbs, right? And then you finally get to this place where all the bread and everything's at. So I kept getting these small little clues. So that helped me stay in that zone, you know. And I'm thankful that I did, because now I'm getting to see it actually come to fruition and actually be something that's viable for me. So I'm really blessed on that. So yeah.
What were those clues that you saw? Was there like a day where you're like, please send me a sign? Should I give up? Like, what was it? Because I hear that from a lot of people, and I felt that myself too, that you have these little symbols or signs that you find kind of within the universe around you that you know is for you. So what was that for you?
Sometimes, you know, I would sell a piece of artwork, not trying to sell it, it would sell. You know, people saying, hey, your work is amazing. You know, those are clues to keep going. You know, I'll be like, sometimes when you start something and it just flows very easily for you, like you don't even know how it got there, but it kind of got there. Like I would have situations in front of me, and little to no effort, it would get done. It wasn't nothing like that impacted my life in a major way, but it was small little victories. So I was like, that was easy. And sometimes when I would try to force things, it wouldn't work. So I started to trust the process. So that what gave me all the clues. Like that's how I know now, even now to this day, I still use those same methods. Like if something's gonna happen for me, or if I put my mind into something, I just say, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna trust the process and let that just
Yeah,
flow.
go with the flow,
Yeah.
not against the flow. Someone
And
told me once the point you need to live at is the point between effort and ease.
yes, and don't force it. If it feels forced, I back all the way off. You know, so yeah, that's just how I operate now. Yeah.
When you're in alignment. So how long did it take you to get to success? Because a lot of people think, oh, it's going to be overnight, you know. So what did it take for you?
You know what? I'm still, gaining more and more success. I think if I had to put a time, I don't know. I can't even put a time limit on. I think success is just a continuous thing, right? You keep going and going and going. You see, like your career start to elevate, right? I don't know.
Like, when did it take for you to be able to not be homeless anymore?
Oh,
How long did that take?
Oh, that took about, well, I'll say maybe about a strong year. Really, really like grinding it out like a strong year to get back on my feet and kind of take that process one day at a time. I was able to do that. So, yeah, that's.
A year probably feels like 10 years when you're going through it.
Yeah, when you're going through it, it feels like a eternity. But you know what? I think going through that experience, made me a stronger person and made me actually appreciate my creativity and the gifts I've been given a little bit more. And also learned that within that, it's like you have to help people. When you're in a position to help, always reach back and help others, because it was people along my way that helped me. So how am I to get successful and not reach back? That's like a slap in the face, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, it just put humility in me. It humbled me. It just made me more loving and caring towards people, and just appreciate my gifts that I have.
How did people help you when you needed it?
Couch surfing. I need a ride somewhere. I can get a ride. Food sometimes. Just giving me opportunities. Hey, you need a job? Okay, I got you.
Yeah, like the barbershop.
When I was living in the shelter, it was a curfew. You had to be in by 8 p.m. The barbershop, sometimes time runs over because there's no set schedule when you're barbering. You may come in at 10, and your last customer might come in at 8:30. So I went to the front desk. I said, hey, I just started this barber job. Is it possible you guys can give me some leeway to come in after 8? And they made an exception for me. So just little things like that, helping out. That's what helped me push
And
me
the fact
forward.
that you weren't scared to ask for that, because some people might not want to ask for that.
Yeah.
And also they probably saw that you were trying
Yes.
to better yourself.
Yes. When people see you're genuinely trying to better yourself, people will genuinely help you, I believe, yeah.
And I know you're giving back to others now as well, too. You're
Yes.
helping like children. Can you talk about that a little bit?
I have a program in Palm Springs. It's through the Palm Springs Unified School District. We go through 6 different middle schools in that district, and what we do is we mentor troubled youth through art and creativity. They brought me in. They liked my story. They brought me in. I was able to, change lives and impact those kids. Now that their expulsion rate is 70, the expulsion rate was high. Now the kids are staying in school up to 75% longer now since this program started.
And the programs to get them into doing art, right?
Yes. So what I would do is I would go home to my studio and I would prep a piece of artwork. Mostly we did comic book characters. Young boys like comic book characters like Spider-Man, Superman, the Hulk, and Batman. So I would prep these and then go to the school and actually paint with them and show them the process. They would try to hurry up. Say, no, slow down. This is a stress reliever. Take your time. Because you want to get them, their brains being creative and going. Because, kids can get distracted really quickly. I mean, adults can get distracted really quickly.
Especially when it comes to painting.
Yeah, absolutely. So, we would go to the middle schools and I would go work with these kids. Work with them. They have any issues, I would talk to them, talk to them more so like someone that understands than someone that's just being an authority figure. I would just talk to them as just a regular human being that understands what they're going through. Because I was them at one point, right? So that program was a success. That was our first year. The school district came back and said, you know what? We love what you guys did. It impacted the children. We want to bring you back for a second year. We're going to give you double funding. So we're going to start up again in September. We're going to follow those same kids, those middle school kids, and then probably add on high school as we go. Yeah.
That's amazing. So
Yeah.
what have the kids taught you through this process?
Oh, man, they taught me just, you got to be, they just taught me to be childlike sometimes in my creativity. You know, you become an adult, you know, sometimes you become an adult, you get real rigid, like life makes you rigid, and you're like, oh, you know, I'm always serious. I'm going to be a serious guy all the time, right? So they taught me kind of just to be, you know, be childlike in my creations, you know, have that imagination I had when I was a child, you know, conjure up all those things that I saw as a child, you know, and put it in my work. So that was something that the kids gave to me. So I appreciate them for that. Most of them don't even know they inspired me as well.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I
It
know,
goes around.
yeah,
Like,
you know,
the more you put out there, the more you get back.
yeah. So it was cool. Yeah. So that was actually that's probably one of the best moments of my career so far, is to be able to you know, use my talents and my gifts to inspire and make people just better people in our society, which is really cool.
Yeah, so where are you at in your career now? Because, you know, you started out a struggling artist,
Yes.
then you turned homeless struggling artist, then, you know, someone discovered you. Can we
Yes.
talk about that? Like when you got discovered, when it went over
Well,
the line?
how did I got discovered? It's a funny story because one day I was home and I was watching Netflix. And I used to watch a lot of art documentaries on like Banksy, Jackson Pollock, all these phenomenal artists. And I just got an idea in my head. I said, you know, I'm going to shoot a documentary about street art. And I didn't know how I was going to shoot it. I didn't know who was going to help me. I just had this wild idea that I'm going to make this documentary, right? That goes back to what I was saying earlier about, you know, the process, like trust the process. Everything started to fall into place. I met a guy that can do camera work. I met a guy that can edit. I met a few artists that want to be a part of it. I even met a homeless artist that was a part of the project. So I filmed that project and I submitted it to a film festival in Palm Springs and it got selected. And what happened was people seeing this film, you know, it made more people aware of who I was as an artist. And then that opened up a door for me. That's how I got the Palm Springs Unified School District job, you know, mentoring the kids. I got into an art gallery in Palm Springs, Desert Art Center in Palm Springs, and it just started going from there, you know. So yeah, that's how people actually, it was funny because it wasn't my art that got people to notice me. It was me doing this documentary about other artists and their struggles, and then seeing me as an artist in that film. And that's what got people saying, oh, he's actually a filmmaker. Oh, yeah, actually, his art is pretty cool.
It's how you make people feel is what they want.
Yes.
They want to feel who you are.
Yes.
They love the art, but knowing the story behind who the person
Yes,
is
absolutely.
really, it's the emotion that the art evokes.
Yes.
It's the you.
Yes.
And, you know, that's funny because that's a common thing we find on my show is every person I talked about how they achieve success, they really created it themselves. They didn't sit there and wait for someone to give it to them.
You're right.
They found a way to make it happen. And it might not be the way you think it's going to happen. Like you normally think you're going to be an artist, you're going to be in a gallery, you know?
Yeah, you think it's the traditional way everybody does things,
Yeah, and
right?
you have a quote about that. There's like no way to success.
Yeah, there's no A to Z. There's, you know, alphabetical or mathematical way of getting there, just be inspired. And I was inspired by seeing Netflix and seeing these documentaries and watching them and just like, wow, these guys' stories are amazing. You know, I kind of put the, you know, they say you put the cart before the horse, per se. And that's kind of what I did. And it actually was, you know, worked for me. So I'm here.
It worked for everyone. What's like the biggest thing you've learned from this experience in being an artist?
You know what? You have to be able to, you know, have a strong belief in your creativity. Because with creativity, you know, art is relative, right? Someone's gonna like your art. Some people may not like your art. So you have to have a strong belief in your creativity, and make sure that whatever you're creating from a place of in your heart that's genuine, and you're not doing it just to please someone. Like you make sure you're in line with what's, you know, genuine, what's you and your creativity and your artwork, you know. And I think that's what makes certain artwork stand out, because people can see that this guy or this young lady put their all into this piece. That piece speaks to me. And that's what you want to convey in your art. So if you're true to what you do, stay on that. Don't let anybody deter you and say you should do this type of art or that type of art. Do what's in your heart. And that's when you can get your best results.
Yeah, in anything that anyone does.
Well, yeah, you can use that actually for anything in life, right?
Exactly. So we only have a few minutes left.
Yeah.
So I want to talk to you a little bit about where people can find, you know, your art pieces back here.
Yeah, you can find me on my website, TysenKnight.com. That's Tysen with an E. Knight.
You can also talk over there to the camera.
Oh, okay. You guys can find me at TysenKnight.com. That's Tysen with an E. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook. Also, I do a lot of public art. installations. I'm going to start a project in Palm Springs downtown. We're going to be painting street benches with all these different icons and colors. So yeah, you guys can find me on all social media. It's Tysen Knight with an E.
Yeah, or go on vacation to Palm Springs. And
Exactly.
Every bench you see there is going to be this guy.
Exactly.
Like, from Starving Artist to Dream to the chairs you sit on in Palm Springs.
Absolutely.
And the beautiful photos behind me.
Absolutely.
You guys, thank you so much for watching the show. If you want to binge watch every episode of Dose of Bliss right now, including this one, it will be live on the EverTalk TV app. And as you guys know, it's on my YouTube channel every Thursday. So my YouTube and my blog, doseofbliss.com, Lindsay B. Hoffman, of course, it's going to be popping up the screen. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you, Lindsay, for having me.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And we'll see you guys next week for your next Dose of Bliss.